Episode 63. Laura, we're at 63. Can you believe that? This is when you talk.
I know. I guess I can't believe it. What a wild 63 episodes it's been.
Wait till we got 6 more to go and then we hit that 69.
And I was just thinking that. Why can't we be 69?
We love hitting 69.
Oh, my God. Will you shut your common dirty mouth? Can we get through this? Hey, so that voice you heard in the background, we've got the band Revelous in the house. What's up, fellas? Thanks for joining us on this episode of Hammered. What's going on?
What's up?
Not a whole lot.
We got Rick Logan, lead vocals. We got Jordan Smith. Damn, I made that font way too small and I can't see. But you are the bass guitar, right, Jordan? Oh, I can't hear you. You got your volume on? Oh, boy. I can't read lips. I'm sorry.
Oh, apologies there.
Oh, there we go. He's on. We got my man Aaron Walker on the drums. What's up, Aaron?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing great, brother. Doing great. And we got Dan Dealer, guitarist in the house. What's up, Dan? How you guys doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Well, first and foremost, Rick, thanks for organizing this and getting this motley crew together. And finally, we're making it happen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and before we start the show, man, I want to address Aaron and say, hey, man, Godspeed, and I hope you a speedy recovery there with all you got going on.
Hey, man, I appreciate it.
Yeah. So
What happened to Aaron?
well, I don't want to put Aaron's business out, but I mean it's up to him. I mean, well, I think it's already out there, right? I mean, I saw it go through me. Yeah, you're battling that C word right now,
Yep.
and I think that's why we had to put off the podcast because of his chemo. So I'm glad you're able and healthy enough to make it to this episode. So Godspeed, man. I hope you recover fast.
Yeah, definitely doing pretty well. It's been a tough battle so far, but I got one more round to go with this. So
One more, man. Well, we're there for you.
If anyone can do it, it's you, friend. You got this.
You got a show on September the 4th to get ready for, man.
That's right.
Get it going. Yeah. So, Rick, tell me about Revelous, man. What's the story? Information and yeah, just go for it, man. Tell us about it.
It all depends on what you want to know. I mean, there's a lot of backstory.
Well, tell me, like, how did it begin?
Oh, we want to know backstory.
Yeah.
Gosh. Well, I guess like the start of it was like back in 2007, 2008. I moved here from Los Angeles. I didn't know anybody that was doing the music thing out there. Came here, didn't know what I was doing, didn't know anyone, wanted to start a band. So I just went on Craigslist and was looking for a drummer because it's always hard to find a drummer, and a good one at that. So started there, found somebody, started working with them, started writing, doing whatever. And then it gradually started to just build. And we pulled in a bass player, a guy, Skeletor, Mike, we called him. And things started to gel. We started, writing and, just working and picking through things and getting, stuff together that we thought, that we would like, that people would generally gravitate toward. And then, that just started building. And then we probably started hitting the scene in like 2009, early 2010. And we just started rolling. So we decided we wanted to pull in a guitar player. Needed that second guitar player. Went through a few. And then we finally settled on Dan, who kind of just filled out that sound.
Settled on Dan, huh?
Yeah, well, it was a lot of, pick and choose and just battling with, find that right sound. And, Dan was always able to nail, what it was that was needed for the specific sound and it was always that anchored sound that was needed there. And I'll just pass it on to Dan. Really.
Well, yeah, Dan, tell us about you, man. Like, where you from, and like, just roll with it.
Well, when people always ask me where I'm from, I always just tell them North Carolina. I've been here the longest. I think my family moved here in like, it was either like 96 or like 97 or something like that. But I grew up like skateboarding, playing soccer, that sort of thing. And then started like playing bass guitar, I think like when I was like entering high school, and like did that for a couple of years. Took like bass lessons and stuff. And I played like trumpet with high school band. So I had this like background in like music reading and just your basic like music knowledge. But I mean, I didn't want to be a trumpet player, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I just started like dabbling with a guitar, bass guitar, and then like finally got like, your 6-string guitar and learning your basic songs and just kind of going from there. I'm like a huge AC/DC fan, like huge Angus Young fan, and like a huge like blues fan in general. So I did like a lot of studying on like your blues structures and your scales and stuff, and just kind of went from there. And then like I don't know, when I met up with Rick, it was like I had been living in this house with a friend of mine for a while, and I would always like try and write my own music. And I had this laptop with this recording software on it, and I was like always trying to record these riffs and these like solos and stuff. And I was using like these pre-recorded drum loops and samples and stuff that came with the software. And it got me to like a certain point, but that certain point was it's like I'm kind of like bored with this. I need to actually like do this for real, and like I want to go out and play with real people and play shows and stuff like that, and see where I can take it. And yes, I started searching on like Craigslist and stuff like that, and ended up meeting up with Rick, and then met him at this Ample Storage. I forget exactly when it was, but I just remember there was like no AC in this place. So there was like, we had this, one of those window units, but it was like down on the floor. And that was like what was kind of cooling this place off. But yeah, I mean, they asked me to, I guess, be their guitar player. And then so we just started practicing. I think it was like twice a week or something like that.
Now, this incarnation I'm looking at of Revelous right now is this is not the original band, right, Rick? Like,
no, Dan and I are the most solid members, like as far as originating. We probably went through, let's see, 2, 3 drummers, I believe, and three bass players, and like we didn't have many guitar players, maybe 3 guitar players, and most of the guitar players and stuff were situational. As like things progressed and we were getting like more success, more consistency, it was like, wow, like work schedules and stuff like that just couldn't, they didn't match up as far as like traveling and stuff like that. So
yeah,
things didn't always match. So as you move forward, sometimes things don't work out, so you have to roll with the punches and move forward. But right now it's pretty good where we're at now. This has been
okay. So like,
things suck, but
what was that?
I said with the way things have been as far as this past year, it's sucked, but we've had time.
So when have you? How long have you four been playing together?
Since
I came in around December, January.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about right.
And then we pulled Aaron around March, right?
Yeah, that's probably right.
Cool, man. So y'all are ready to go out there and show
Oh,
what
yeah.
this new version of Revelous has.
Right. Well, I mean, when Aaron jumped in too, like same with Jordan, like both of them just rolled through the material. Like that was a struggle always, like, you know, with finding people to jump in that were going to just go through and learn everything and be ready to go. But like we've been ready, but it's just been the waiting game, really. You know, when it's the right time to jump out and just getting to that point. And then sadly, Aaron, you know, is dealing with his struggle right now. And we're right behind him, 100%. Just, right there, you know, for him. And he's ready to go now, even though, you know, he's got to put in the time to, you know, wait and be safe with his condition. And, you know, we're behind him 100%. But, you know, he's got, you know, his last treatment. And then after that, it'll take a little bit of time to recover. And then we're ready to go, man.
Yeah, so that brings me to you, Aaron. Whereabouts are you from, man? Are you a native of North Carolina or?
Yes, I was born here in North Carolina, but I spent most of my life in Mobile, Alabama. So
Okay.
and then I came back up here around about 2 years ago.
About 2 years. Where'd you get your music start? When'd you learn how to bang them drums?
Oh man, it was from an early age. So about 4, I started playing. Well, they say 4, but it's just music has just always been a part of my life, you know, and especially the drums. It's just something about it is so massive to me. With like my influences and stuff, it's been like a lot of metalcore, like just a lot of different influences. And how I got into rock music and stuff in general was 3 Days Grace, and then Linkin Park, and then once I found System of a Down, then it just kind of stumbled, and I got all these different influences.
That's 2 of my favorite songs, man. System of a Down, Toxicity, and Aerials, man. Those are like super like workout songs, man. I love them. Yeah.
Don't let him fool you. This dude can fucking play, dude.
Oh yeah.
He's the best drummer I've ever played with in my life.
Oh wow, that's a pretty good compliment right there. I mean, it sounds like Rick's had a lot of drummers too, so he would know.
Talk about,
I've been there with him. I know what that's about.
Yeah. All right, Jordan, how about you, man? Tell us about you. Where are you from?
I'm North Carolina. Been here forever.
All right. What
Should have
part?
got away, baby. Yeah, started up around the northern border there. Roanoke Rapids, little shit town.
Oh yeah. I know all about that place.
Oh yeah, got away from there, got down here, and met up with these guys and decided, hey, need to do something.
That sound was Laura gurgling her water. God. Wow.
Sorry, I was thirsty.
These microphones will catch a rat's fart 2 counties over. So that was awesome. All right.
Sorry, did everyone hear that?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
She's over here drowning. Anyway, yeah, so like I grew up in eastern North Carolina, and it was Roanoke Rapids. I think that's like, what, is that Northampton County or am I?
Halifax, right on the edge of Northampton.
Yeah, Northampton's right over there somewhere.
Yeah, 3 miles away.
I know Roanoke Rapids is that exit I get to take when it's time for a Starbucks stop. So when I'm on 95 traveling northbound to visit my family, I'm like that glimmering like beacon of hope rising over the interstate. I'm like, yes, it's my stop.
Yep, and smell it before you get there.
I've never.
Oh no.
I don't know how y'all are when it comes to caffeine, but this woman drinks like 5 cups of coffee in 2 hours. If maybe faster than that, I don't know.
No, I average about 5 coffees a day. It's not that bad.
What?
It's the way to do it.
Is that bad? Sorry.
Well, so you guys really, besides Rick and Dan, y'all really haven't been together that long to like have a lot of crazy like band stories, have you? Or do you have any? I mean, y'all haven't. Have you been out and played a gig yet together at a larger venue?
Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
Well, I saw that video on your YouTube, and I guess it's I don't know. It says it's like 9 years old. So this is like one of the first evolutions of Generations of Revelous.
Right.
That song "Something More," and I had to message you, Rick. I was like, man, is this another band named Revelous? Because I didn't recognize anybody in there.
Oh yeah. There's a few videos that there are various alterations of different members.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like a montage video up there that this woman made years ago. I forget what's up there a lot of the times. I'm not on YouTube a whole lot, but it's hopefully we'll have new stuff up there once we start. We're going to try to be a little more conscientious of all the avenues of being more current with using everything to get out there.
Well, I gotta say, man, even though that song isn't the 4 band members here, that song is still kick ass. I was thinking about like putting that on my workout playlist.
Wait till you hear the new version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to hear it, man. I'd love to hear it. Hell yeah.
Is there a link to that? We love to plug our
Good
band's
songs,
music
yes.
at the end of the show. So if you guys have a very recent link, definitely send it to us and we'll plug it in.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a link tree up on the Facebook page, and everything's
None
on
of the new versions of anything up though. We've
Okay.
just really been writing those in the past few months. But what you hear on the albums and what you'll hear live are going to be entirely different worlds.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's exciting.
I was
Yeah,
reading on
yeah,
the
maybe
website.
Aaron
where
didn't
you-
follow the template.
I was reading on the website where it said you guys bring the studio sound to the live version, to concert feel, like the same sound. And that's awesome because a lot of bands can't do that. You hear something on the CD or digital, and then you hear them live, and you're like, wow, it sounds like shit.
That has a lot to do with the
Oh, sorry.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, this was with Fat Axel a couple of years ago. I mean,
Well, they're
So-
also like 95 years old, so give them a break.
yeah, I guess.
Well, that has a lot to do with like overproduction too. When you're doing a lot of those extras and stuff when you're in the studio, a lot of the stuff that we did was like you simplified everything. What you're doing live is what you should, do in the studio. Adding a little bit of chorus and delay on certain things like vocals and guitars and stuff. That's fine. You don't want to. You want what you're hearing in the studio. When you buy a CD or download a track. It's easier for a band to reproduce that too live. You don't want to be struggling on the stage, and then having to have like a laptop up there. Whatever.
Doing the
Yeah,
work for you.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of extra work. You want to enjoy yourself while you're up there.
My
Not
dad
like-
and I have this conversation, pretty frequently because he loves sharing clips of, live music with me, especially when this sound differs really greatly from the studio variation. And kind of the conversation that we always end up having is, we want to know that it's you. But we also love when musicians play with the song when they're live. So there's a fine line between, if we wanted to listen to the studio album, we'll listen to the studio album. We've already bought it. But when we pay to see a musician play live or a band play live, we want to see you guys really enjoying it and, play with the sound, go nuts. And that's I'd say my dad and I have this conversation once or twice a month where we're like, did you hear them play this? It was so cool. Like, you can hear the groove and like you can tell it's them. You can tell they're playing and they're having a great time. So I'm glad you guys bring that to life as well. We want to know it's you, but also if we wanted to listen to the studio album, that's what we would listen to.
Just bring me a few shots of tequila.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it's a shame I can't have you guys in studio so we can do a traditional pre-show shot. I mean, next time you guys got to come in studio and we'll do
Yes,
that.
sir.
Plenty of chairs.
I mean, this show's not called Hammered for nothing, right? Okay.
Uh-huh. All right.
So, like, Laura and I were talking earlier when we were listening to this video, and she mentioned you guys sound a little bit like, and I don't know the new version, but that version sounded like Breaking Benjamin and Finger 11 got together and, you know.
I said 3 Days Grace.
3 days. I thought you said Breaking Benjamin too.
Oh, no, I did say 3 Days Grace, Breaking Benjamin, and Finger 11 all had a love child, but Megadeth was the granddaddy. That's what I got from that sound.
What a
That poor
offspring
bastard.
that was.
But what a great offspring to have.
I mean, seriously. Yeah.
Seriously, if you're gonna have a granddaddy, it might as well be Megadeth. But I guess with that said, I'd love to hear a little bit about your musical influences. You know, we heard a little bit from Aaron what his musical influence was. What do you guys want to sound like?
Yeah, let's start with Jordan, man. What's your musical influence?
Well, it's actually kind of surprising there. Finger 11, their bass player, influenced me a whole lot. Saw them a whole lot in the early 2000s, and he's just so clean. I was watching him, and he knows how to accent a song really well, but he does it so smooth.
Yes.
I've always loved his playing. But I also like Ryan Martini from Mudvayne and try to incorporate a little bit of that. You know, just pretty much there's so many great bass players out there, but ultimately, yeah, I'd say between Sean from Finger 11 and Ryan from Mudvayne. That's kind of the middle ground I go for.
You know, we've had a few bands up here, and most of the time they are replacing bass guitars. It's like the bass guitarist is the hardest person to find. Like you mentioned it earlier, Rick, the bass and the drums are the hardest ones to find. What makes a bassist so hard to find? What do you think, Jordan?
I really don't know. I think a lot of people tend to go for guitar over bass. I like to play both, but bass was my first instrument that I really learned, and yeah, it's just the first wife. So I always end up coming back to it.
Oh, well.
Dead.
But I tell you, we were on.
Jordan is killer at both, too. So that always helps, too, especially with the writing process now. And with his and Aaron's style of playing, it's going to take the direction of Revelous in a totally different area. So it's going to be really exciting to see where we go.
Bro, you're getting me.
It's going to be exciting.
You're getting me stoked over here, man. I can't wait till September the 4th.
I'm excited to just see where everything goes. It's just the door is open wide. So I'm excited about this stuff.
Yeah. For those of you listening and you can't see our little banner that's scrolling at the bottom of the screen, what we're talking about on September the 4th is Rock the Pig Mini Music Festival in Youngsville, North Carolina at Bud's Tavern. It's for Paws for Life. Proceeds will go towards Paws for Life. Save the puppies, right, Laura?
pawsforlifenc.org if you need a new 4-legged or 3-legged. I don't know. There's lots of pets out there with only 3 paws that need good homes. Definitely go to pawsforlife.org. You can preview the special little babies out there who need some loving homes and get you a little fur baby.
All right, right. And what time do y'all play, Rick? I done forgot.
3:45. You said
3:45. You'll see Revelous out there at Rock the Pig. Yeah. So can't wait. Dan, what's your musical influence, brother?
I would say I'm a little bit old school.
Nothing wrong with that.
Like when I hear like Jordan stuff, like so and so from Finger 11 and so from whatever. I don't know. Like I could totally like understand it, but I can't tell you who's in like what new band or anything like that. Like it's like I said before, like I'm a huge AC/DC fan. I listen to 100.7 like pretty much like every day.
Me too. I feel that.
Yes.
Like, any song that comes on there. I mean, yeah, they do play like the same 15 songs like all day, every day. They eventually change it up and stuff like that.
Oh my God, they play that one song all the time. The What is it?
Brick in the wall.
You brick in the wall. Oh my God! If I hear that song one more time, I'm gonna hit myself in the head with a brick. You
But
can't
I
have
just,
your pudding.
Stop
Oh.
it.
Oh my God!
How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat?
Right?
Yeah.
You can't have your pudding if you don't eat your meat. What does that even mean?
Yeah.
What?
It's some English thing.
Okay,
I don't get it either. We're from America. Just ask the Brits.
I digress. Sorry, Dan. See, this is what happens. I get on a tangent for a second. Okay,
You're good.
back to
But
Dan.
I mean, I just like I can't really tell you exactly like what my influences are, just because when it comes to like playing music, to me it's like whatever sounds good to me,
Mhm.
like I'll roll with. And like whenever I'm like with a group that's like, let's say if we're trying to write a song or something like that, and we get to like experimenting, I'll just like try like flowing through like different scales, whatever, just trying to get something to like trigger in my head where it's like, ooh, I like the way that sounds, let me roll with it. I mean, it could range from something like Santana to like Bush, something as simple as Bush or something. It's really just what I like, and it's all sorts of stuff. I know what I don't like. If there's something I don't like,
What don't you like?
I was gonna say, do tell.
Yeah, we gotta hear this.
man, the stuff I don't like, I play with a few other bands, a couple other like tribute bands, and then I have this other original band that it's kind of like a reggae rock style band, and we haven't done anything in a while. Like, I think the last thing we did was like September of 2019. We played with S.A. Martinez from 311. We played with his side project called Los Stellarians, and that was really cool. But like that whole scene that we were with these like reggae rock bands, you get these like suburban kids like getting up on the mic and like singing with an island accent, like hey, I can't stand that stuff. Like someone that's like up there singing like they're from the islands, and then they get off stage and they're like, "Hi, nice to meet you. My name's Jeff." And
Oh my God.
it has to be genuine, and it's like you can kind of spot it, a mile away if someone's like being genuine or not. But
Yeah.
it's hard to put it in words, really. But you know it when you see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. They have like a festival at Red Hat every year. What is the name of it? It's like reggaeton, or it's like reggaeton music. Is that a thing? Am I making this shit up right now? But it's like a reggae fest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, and I can't stand. I don't know. I know people that love it, and it's full of people like you're talking about, Dan, that are playing a character on stage.
Well, yeah, it's a bunch of white people who are up there trying to play like island music who've never been to a single island. So
Now we don't.
there's
know that.
no like authenticity behind it. So I totally feel where Dan's coming from.
Oh yeah.
So, and there's a lot to be said, Dan, about your influence. When you are talking about, what you listen to on the day-to-day, I'm right there with you. It stays on the classic rock station. If, I'm driving to work on a Monday morning and I'm not hearing what I want to hear, if it's just kind of the same mainstream, the same 7 songs that you hear them play every day in and out, I'll play a different classic rock station on Pandora. So, but there's a lot to be said about the range that comes with classic rock. And, the radio stations have a way of kind of condensing all those styles and all those musicians into one very kind of flatlined category, and it really just doesn't suit all of these personalities well at all. So I would say your influence definitely just comes from that truly like eccentric era that the mid to late 80s and rock had to offer. So I totally feel where you're coming from. It may not feel like you have like a major style or influence because it is your attraction is that of like a very wide range of styles. So I want you to know I hear you and I understand you're not alone here.
Yeah, and like so, I mean, like you can say like classic rock. Oh, what does that mean? Is that like from 1970 to 1980? It's like not really. I mean, like stuff that came out in the 90s, is like considered classic rock now. So
Don't
there's
remind
just, like,
me.
I heard the Foo Fighters
was
and
trying
Foo
really
Fighters was
hard.
on WRDU. I was like, oh my god,
Yeah,
they're trying
and
to
so like
make me old.
I grew up, just listening to music pretty much like all the time.
Yeah.
So there's just this huge, like variety of music that I've been exposed to, and like I don't really keep up with like new stuff. I mean, like like it might not even be new, but you could be like, oh, this song, and be like, yeah, I know that song. I know how to sing it. I know the words to it, whatever. But then if you're like, all right, well, what was the band that plays it? I might not be able to tell you,
Yeah.
But
Well, Aaron, how about you, man? What's your influence?
So I've got a lot of influences, like recent stuff. A lot of like the drummer from Silent Planet is a huge inspiration to me, as well as the drummer from North Lane, and I like listen to a lot of like Beartooth and Currents and Gideon, all these like other metal bands. So my playing style definitely I guess has those tastes in mind, I guess you could say. But yeah, that's basically it. As of from like 2012 to now, but like before then it was always System of a Down and then like more like hard rock stuff, and it kind of like transitioned into more like a lot of heavier stuff for me. So it's like, man, I'm craving something like a lot heavier. Like this stuff is great, but I just want something heavier, beefier, chunkier, more power, So my taste has just, gone through the ringer for so many different things. And my playing shows that definitely.
So is there a drummer that you can just sit and listen to and go, wow? Oh,
yes. God. Yeah. Nick Pedersen from North Lane. I found him out like 3 years ago on YouTube. I was just like searching drum videos and I found this guy and I was just blown away by his style of playing. It's incredible.
All right, I'm going to have to check him out, man.
I just made a note to listen because it's not often I hear someone just say, describe a drummer with such reverence. I have, one or two that come to mind, but it's always exciting to hear one truly great drummer recommend another truly great drummer. So I'll be taking a listen for sure.
Yeah, and like when drummers, all I can think of is like Def Leppard's one-armed drummer and
well, obviously
Tommy Lee. And they're old heads, man. So I mean,
yeah, oh yeah,
yeah. But hey, Rick, so tell us about your influence, bro.
Goodness. Well, for guitar, gosh. So I was kind of like in the middle of eras. So I came off like the back end of like the 80s hair metal and jumping into like the grunge era. So it was like, for my lead guitar influences like Slash and Guns N' Roses and like Aerosmith, Poison, and then going into like Nirvana and Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, and then moving into
Stop it.
So moving into like the the more 90s hard alternative rock, like 3 Days Grace, Breaking Benjamin, Seether was a big one for me, like Puddle of Mud.
All good bands, yeah.
Gosh, just all those bands that were just like pushing it. And at first I was not into like the whole commercial rock scene because I was just still being experimentative with my sound. I didn't know what commercial rock was at the time. I didn't know how to write commercial songs. I just wasn't into it because I didn't know what it was. I wasn't open to it because I was not informed. And I would listen to songs. I was influenced, heavily by like Nirvana. And that's what got me into playing music. I just heard it. It spoke to me and it made me want to sing. For one, that was probably one of my main vocal influences. And that kind of, evolved into, I kind of took that and cleaned it up a little bit, and kind of kept that whole raspy sound. And then I've been vocally compared to like vocalists like Seether and Nickelback and stuff like that. And I don't have a problem with any of those bands. I know like Nickelback, it's a lot of hate and all that shit, whatever.
Oh no, I think that's a podcast you listen to. I'm sorry.
I'm not even getting the subject, but I was singing like that before I even heard of those guys. So
listen, we've discussed Nickelback on this show a few times, and Laura hates them. I, for one, I like and respect Nickelback. They've got so many top like hit songs that have been on the radio for the past 20 years. A lot of bands can't say that, So.
I agree, but I don't get to a point to even discuss them just because I just don't. I don't have a problem with them. They're doing their thing. That's cool.
Well, you did just bring them up, Rick. So
I know, but I'm using it as a comparison to what other people say, which is fine. But I mean, I've always influenced myself vocally, and it sounds good to me, and it sounds good to other people. And if they like it, that's fine. It's all I can do. It's what comes out. So I'm not trying to sound like anybody else specifically. So it's just.
I will offer this as kind of, I don't want to say like a rebuttal because I don't want to argue with you, but when people listen to Nickelback, they feel good. I would say that is a general consensus, and that's what's made Nickelback the success that they are. They write feel-good music, and it plays well, it listens well. And I think when people liken you and your sound and your vocals to Nickelback, I'm gonna say you don't sound like Nickelback, but I think you invoke a feeling and an emotion that sits similarly to an individual when they listen to Nickelback. So like it feels good, it sounds good, and people like how they feel when they listen to it. So I just want to put that on the record. I don't think you sound like Nickelback. I don't think that's where your influences are. But I can definitely see where people are like, oh, you sound like Nickelback. No, you don't sound like Nickelback. But people feel good when they hear your sound. And that's the kind of correlation that people draw. So that's my thought. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's my thought.
I think where the generalization comes from, the average listener hears a raspy vocal, and a raspy vocal, is generalized. You can hear Alice in Chains, you can hear, like Lane Staley, you can hear Kurt Cobain, you can hear Sean Morgan, you can hear, Chad Kroeger, you can hear freaking, Chris Cornell. Anybody that has that type of, it's a generalization, which is fine. But like you were saying, invoking different like emotions and feelings. It's feeling good. I'm not singing about getting head or whatever. You know what I mean? It's about
why
things.
not?
I mean, it worked for Nickelback. I mean, Nickelback. why I respect Nickelback, they've had a song, Something in Your Mouth, which is basically, give me a blowjob, woman, and it was all over the radio.
That's it.
So I respect Nickelback. Go
I
for
don't
it.
remember this song.
You don't remember Something in Your Mouth?
I probably like actively tuned it out. That's what people
sure a
call
lot of
memory
women did.
suppression.
Right.
Yeah,
But it's been, I mean, despite all that, it's done well for us. So I mean, we're just rolling with it. You know, it's cool.
well,
And,
let me ask all four of you guys this, and you know, y'all can take turns answering this, but I'm kind of curious, you guys being a rock band, do you think we have seen the last of rock stars? What I mean by rock stars is like the the Aerosmiths, the Kisses, the Poisons, the Motley Crues. Do you think we'll ever, when these guys pass, do you think anyone is carrying the torch right now that 20 years from now is going to be up on that tier?
Oh my God,
With-
Michael, what a sad question to ask.
But it's true because maybe God, they were just in my head and I forgot about them.
Well,
The Led Zeppelin sounding band. Oh my
The
God.
Led Zeppelin. Well,
I know who you're
I
talking- I know
appreciate
who
the
you're
question you're asking, you know, with the very, very recent raw passing of Dusty Hill, you know, where
Well, that has
our
nothing to do
favorite
with my
musicians
question.
are dying. But, you know, you ask a very good question, like who's going to be carrying on those sounds? And is there anyone current who can do that?
Is there going to be another Stephen Perry or, Lane Staley, Kurt Cobain? Not even that. Is there going to be another David Grohl?
there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential out there, of course, but it's just what direction is music going to go in? It is. I mean, because rock is an underground thing right now, and what's in the market right now, or what the labels and stuff are telling you to listen to, and the youth nowadays, it's their tramping ground, and that's what you're hearing a lot of now. But as far as like rock stars go, I don't even know what to comment on that, because it's that era has kind of come and gone.
Yeah.
It's so independent now. You're just like, you have to like do everything on your own and push yourself. You have to have everything laid out for an original band, at least. You have to have everything done, laid out before like a record label or whatever even looks at you or blinks an eye. But at the same time, you can get yourself to that that level on your own, but you really have to work your way in order to get that to that level on your own. But to be a rock star is a generalization, so it's like it depends on how you want to approach it, really.
Like all these bands I'm referring to, like you mentioned one, like AC/DC, Guns N' Roses. These bands became famous in the 80s and early 90s, back when there was no social media. There was no MP3s. Kids didn't have access to all these different types of music. This music was just thrown in their face on radio, and they had to go buy the CDs and the vinyls and listen to them. They didn't have all these options. I think that's one reason why we see rock music going the way it is right now, because kids these days have so many options, to listen to, and they're picking up a lot of that crap. Like the music being made today is crap music. And
I'll chime in on this.
Yeah.
All right, so like the internet, anyone can access anything, and of course, there's always going to be like mainstream media, that shows you like the newest like Katy Perry song and video and stuff, and the newest like Nicki Minaj, like whatever that stuff is, that's always going to be there. But with like the internet and everything, and all these kids like learning how to do it, at a super early age, there's I don't think that like, like rock music or anything is in danger of like being extinct or anything like that. I don't think like the rock star is like a thing of the past. I just believe that it's going to become just this like whole other, it's going to become like a niche type thing. Like there are these, these young guitar players. I don't know if you ever heard of this guy that calls himself Kingfish, and this one guitar player who calls himself Taz, and then there's another one that's like Taj or however you pronounce it. But they're like these like prodigy like rock guitar kids, that can play like way better than I possibly ever could. I wish I could play like them. And they're playing, these high profile gigs and already have like their career and stuff like laid out for them. Mm-hmm. But the average person just doesn't know about them, because like they're not in the media, like they're not like on commercials and stuff. Like they're not put in front of you, as much as like some of this other stuff is. But
yeah, that goes back to like bands that came around in the 80s and 90s. They were put out in the public because of radio, and even the radio stations we have today, man, they're not the same. They don't, like, you might get Greta Van Fleet. They're a good rock band. I think that could one day become rock stars, to the equivalent of like a Poison or Guns N' Roses or something like that. But yeah, it's like the bands, rock bands that I grew up with, they aren't being pushed like they were in the 80s and 90s because of social media, I think.
Well,
and there's just a lack of interest, I think, in that type of music for a lot of musicians now.
I actually think I kind of want to argue that point because...
Well, come on, just bring it. Let's go.
Well, thank you. I was going to do it politely, but fuck you. There are... Sorry, well, now that train left the station, I was trying to be nice. Now I got to be an asshole. So we had this kind of phenomenon where, TikTok rolled out, and it did feature a bunch of... snippets of, brand new music, the Cardi B and the Saweetie, which is like really catchy. And, I would say at bare minimum, fun to listen to. Like, I don't hate it, but I'm also not like going to exert any energy to listen to it. However, we saw Fleetwood Mac's Dreams resurge to the top 10 on charts after... that guy on the skateboard and his cranberry juice, like there was this magical renaissance where Dreams by Fleetwood Mac came back to us.
Wait a second, I'm not letting you go by. Have you guys seen this guy on a skateboard?
Yeah, I know.
Everyone has seen
really?
it.
Well, not me.
Yeah, he was longboarding and just chilling, man. He was on his way to work. His car broke down, and he just longboarded. Drinking his ocean spray, man.
Yeah, so he was
right,
skateboarding to work. He did a TikTok of it, and he had Dreams by Fleetwood Mac playing as he recorded this TikTok. And it, as a result, went viral. And subsequently, Dreams shot up on the charts for the first time in like 25 fucking years.
Just because of this dude.
Because of this guy. So I think there's a lot to be said about, today's social media kind of creating this renaissance of
I saw you drop
great...
that, Aaron. I saw you drop it. Yep, I'm not letting you get away with that.
Oh, my God.
Break out the butterfly knot.
Yeah. Oh, no, I just broke it this time.
Yeah. Carry on, Laura. Sorry.
Well, now that I've been effectively mowed over by the testosterone in the room, I'm just here to say, I think there's definitely an argument to be made that there is a great thing that different social media platforms can do for I guess like the old school rock scene, because it's still alive and well out there. There are a lot of young people like me who was at the mercy of it growing up with my parents who listened to it. That's what they listened to when they were kids, and that's as a result, what I listened to as a kid, and now that's all I want to listen to as an adult. And now all these 30 and 31-year-olds have TikTok, and we're making TikToks with 80s music in it. And I think there's something to be said about a kind of renaissance occurring with old school rock music that kind of keeps it alive and well. But the other side of that coin is, does that create room for new rock music? And is it kind of getting squashed under the thumb of social media platforms that just kind of keep regurgitating the same music?
Well, people like me are also responsible for that, because new music is something I'm really not that fond of, because I don't give it a chance. I'm constantly listening to classic rock all the time. You know, Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam, you know, all that's the Red Hot Chili Peppers. That's all I listen to. And Queen, I love Queen. So it's very seldom. I'm on 100.7 all the time, like Dan. I probably need to listen to more newer music. Like listening to your song and earlier, I was like, wow, this is really good, a really good fucking song. My buddy Lee Robinson sings for L.A. Maybe. I checked out their album. 3 songs up there. I was like, dude, this shit can be singles on the radio. And they're just not getting the chance.
Right, but what radio station? What is the platform? What is the mainstream platform that is going to debut these truly talented artists?
I couldn't even tell you. What's the rock station here in the Triangle area?
Well, it used to be, it was 96.1, and they actually, 96.1, they used to back us pretty hard. They had that song Something More. They had that.
Yeah.
They were airing that regularly for us back when they were 96 Rock, and we actually did this thing for them way back in the day, and it ended up resulting in us opening up for Sebastian Bach down at Red Hat Amphitheater.
Oh, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So but then what was it, like a few years later after that, they just closed up the shop, and it was a kick-ass show, man. But after that, it was like they just closed up shop, and it ended up being like this variety station where they're playing everything but rock, or the same rock song over and over again, and then R&B and whatever other shit.
It's a top 40. It's like a top 40 kind of thing.
Yeah,
top
basically.
40s. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, look,
but
man.
it just,
Well, Rick, I want to know this, because I know what you do on the side too. You've got this crazy little hobby with costumes and cosplay.
What?
You don't know what cosplay is?
No, I know what cosplay is,
Yeah.
but
So he makes badass costumes, man. Like you came to
He likes to dress up as Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon.
that's a hot ass Sailor Moon. I'd pay to see that.
You have to what was that? You had like a Dark Robin or something like that.
Oh, I got this right here. This is my Red Hood.
So you have to wear some of that on stage, bro. You got to make you a costume for the band.
No. Could you imagine how, dude? I wore this. It was a couple weekends ago. My girlfriend, her son. I made this legit Robin. There's this TV show on HBO Max called Titans.
Yeah.
And I made this pretty much exact replica of the Robin costume for him. And we go to hospitals and stuff and visit kids. I did this over the quarantine and built these two. I rebuilt this for myself and then built his. And whenever hospitals are, good enough for us to go back. But we just did this. It was a Ting Stadium out in Holly Springs. We just went out and did an event out there. They were raising money for kids in the hospital too. So we did that. But it started with that. I don't do too much of it anymore as far as the cons and stuff like that. And I did it for a business for a while, for 5 years, and it got really overwhelming. I have some pretty acute tendonitis and carpal tunnel syndrome from it.
Oh, wow.
So
yeah,
I need to lay back from it. I'm going through treatment now for it. It affects the guitar playing a little bit, but now since I'm going through certain treatments, it's helping a lot.
Well, yeah, time to leave that alone if it's affecting your health like that.
Yeah. But I can do little things to keep all my stuff up to date. and touch ups and shit like that. But
Are
yeah,
you,
man.
Are you going to GalaxyCon this week?
No, Jordan is the.
Oh yeah. Are you dressing up, Jordan?
Oh no.
No.
Yeah, he's dressing up like Sailor Moon.
Got him. I might check it out, man. I like those type contests and checking everybody out.
I've been to way too many of them. It's for me. It's the same thing every time at this point.
Well, that's so impressive. Seriously. Like, I can barely sew a button back onto a shirt. So,
He's making outfits.
right.
Wow.
And, you know, my sister is such a talented seamstress. And that's just something that, you know, I just, like, can't do. So when I see other people who just can do that and do it so excellently, it truly blows my mind. So what a cool craft. You know, I hope you get back to a place where you can continue to foster that, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
It's always something, you know, that's there. Like, I'd really like to be able to use it. I've always wanted to, we'll say that. To use it for like stage props and stuff. For like, if I could really find the time to really get into it. Like, if you want to put on a really cool show for like your band.
I mean, go full Gwar.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, not something to wear, but like a cool. I don't know if you've seen like Avenged Sevenfold, where they have that huge like, it's like a what do you call it? A huge throne behind the drummer with this big skeleton dude back there with his sword and stuff. It's crazy stuff, and you can build all this stuff out of foam and just paint it up, airbrush it, all that's crazy stuff. I've always had a lot of fun with that type of stuff. Actually, Jordan has this old bass that I'm trying to get from him so I can chrome it up and give it a nice cool chrome paint job whenever we get around to that. But that's
I've got the pieces laying around here. I just keep forgetting.
let me get it.
He's calling you out. What I love about that, though, you know, there's Avenged Sevenfold particularly really puts on an entire performance, you know, and I'm not going to say what I have to say about that with Mike Portnoy taking over that production, but there's really, you know, you go to see a band and you enjoy the music, but I truly appreciate an artist who goes above and beyond to really create a production. They want you to be just as entertained by what you're seeing as you are by what you're hearing. And again, like, I would love for you to get back to a place where you can kind of foster that and create an entire, like, cinematic experience. And those are the shows I love to go to. Dream Theater, I've said this probably like 100,000 times at this point, easily one of my favorite concerts. Not, you know, for the obvious reasons. We've got a collection of arguably the world's greatest musicians, and they're just like in front of you. But I think it was their Images and Words tour. They created literally an entire movie. It was an entire animation that they aired behind them through the concert. And like, it was so cool that they really just took that one extra step to just be that much more impactful for their patrons.
It's like on a local level, like as a band, it's kind of tough to do all that.
Yeah, money.
Yeah.
Have, like, the revenue.
It's not cheap.
Well, with that too, and like the stage size too, like you have all the room and all of like the faculty to carry all that stuff up, because you have to be like, imagine carrying all that stuff up there yourself, then setting up all of your own equipment, then doing all of the, you know, the technical work behind it, the lighting, everything, and then having to pay out, you know, these individuals to help you.
Yeah, I
But
can
then,
imagine that can get pricey after a while.
Yeah, well, financially, you wouldn't see much of that from us.
Yeah.
And at least like in the time it would take for me individually to build all of these things, depending on what the ideals would be behind the stage show itself. It's a lot of work, and that's like, to me at this point, it's just a hobby, and I would have to be compensated nicely.
Significantly.
Down the road, once things open back up, man, big things for Revelous. Big things.
Just little things here and there. This is not me saying, Rick, get to work. It's really just truly an appreciation for that craft, for sure.
So
Yeah, thank you.
So before we play Hammer Trivia, let's build some camaraderie here amongst the band. So
Fuck these guys.
there we go.
Oh, no.
The one-man team, Dan. Here we go. Now, so you guys haven't had to share a hotel room, right? Not yet.
No, not yet.
Well, who snores the loudest here?
What did you say?
Who's the loudest snorer in the band?
I don't know yet.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
figured
say.
they wouldn't know
I'm
the
gonna
answer.
say.
Well, so
Well, they're not going to offer themselves up. No one's going to be like, well, that's fucking me.
I'd be proud of it.
Well,
No,
I mean, if I snore,
I'm
I would throw
probably-
my hat and I'd throw my name right in the hat on that if I snore.
okay, fair.
Okay, well, here's another question. Okay, which one of you four would care less about ripping a loud fart in a group of people?
That'd probably be me.
That would me too.
Oh, that's
Oh,
everybody but
oh,
Aaron.
Okay, duly noted.
Aaron's the only one with class. Congratulations, Aaron. All right. All right. So it's that time of the show again where we pit Laura against the guests in a game of Hammer Trivia. So the way this works is, so we got 4 band members today. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the band making the decision together to answer the question.
Oh my God. So I've got 4 minds against mine?
Yes, you do. So you really have to answer all these questions right.
Okay, well, what
So-
is the subject matter
All right,
today?
I'll get to that. Just hold on.
No, I
Just-
need to prepare myself.
All right. So what we do is there's 6 questions. There's going to be 3 for Revelous, and there's going to be 3 for you. We're going to start with Revelous first. Today's trivia is based on 90s rock music.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's pretty easy. All right. So, as a team, and Rick, we'll let you be the captain of the team. All right.
All right.
So, who had a hit with Basket Case? Was it AC/DC, The Offspring, Green Day, or Blink 182?
This one's easy. Come on.
Yeah, I was say that's Green Day.
Green Day. That
Yes,
is
sir.
correct. Green Day. So now Revelous is on the board with 1. All right, Laura. Oh, these are all easy. My God. This is going to go into overtime, probably triple overtime. Who had a hit with Loser? Was it Beck, the Eagles, Weezer, or REM?
Come on.
That was Beck, right?
That is correct. That is Beck. We are tied at 1-1 after 2 questions. All right, this is just like kindergarten quiz.
I think you need to dig up another quiz.
You know what? If you get all these. All right. Revelous, Give It Away is from which album? Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic, Nevermind, Mother's Milk, or California?
Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic.
That is correct. And they get easier and easier. I should have read these before I because they're so easy. Who had a hit with Creep, Laura? Do you even want the choices?
Yeah, because I need my memory jogged.
Oh, No Doubt, U2, Soundgarden, or Radiohead?
Radiohead.
That is correct.
Thank you.
All right, so moving on. Revelous, this is your 3rd and final question, unless we go to overtime. Choose the Pearl Jam album. 10, million, 1,000, or 1?
10?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounded uncertain, but it is correct.
It's
It sounded like you were saying like 10 million. You know, like the album was 10
Yeah,
million.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
No. I was doing
10
it on
million,
purpose to throw you off.
100,000.
Uh-oh, this might get Laura. Oh, my God, finally a hard one.
That's what she said.
Oh, hey,
Nice.
you need the drums close to you, Aaron, so you can hit a rim shot on that one. But anyway, Downward Spiral was whose album? The Cult, Eminem, Nine Inch Nails, or Neil Young?
Downward spiral.
Oh, she might be had right here, folks.
Who are the artists again?
Oh, my God, Jeopardy music for the first time. The Cult,
Damn, I don't have the
Eminem,
acoustic.
Nine Inch Nails, or Neil Young?
I'm not confident, but I'm gonna go 9 Inch Nails.
Oh my God, she got it right. All
Nice.
right, it is 3-3, And we are moving into overtime. Are you ready, Revelous? Who sang I Alone? Lenny Kravitz. Live. I heard it.
Well, okay.
Bam.
One of the first songs I learned on bass. Sorry.
Yeah.
Nice.
Uh-oh. Here we go. Who sang Novocaine for the Soul, Laura? Was it Green Day, the Eels, Aerosmith, or Foo Fighters?
Foo Fighters.
Fucking wrong! You lose!
Oh,
My
no.
God! Congratulations,
Wait, who
Revelous.
was it?
You are the winners of Hammered Trivia.
Hand me that trophy so oh, no, you have
It
to show them
was-
because I don't have a camera. Who was it?
It was the Eels. Here's your trophy right here. You get it. We'll give it to you next time we see you.
We deliver.
It was the Eels, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know. I can't tell what you're saying, bruh. Is
I'm
it
like right across the table.
ILLS or EELS?
Listen, hey, Revelous, did it even matter once you saw those choices? It's the process of elimination, right? To me, it
Yes,
was.
No,
Shit, I
I
didn't know what it was.
thinking,
What was the other thing? I didn't know what it was.
I know that those other bands never sang a song called Novocaine for the Soul.
I like the way that he's avoiding answering the question. What are you saying? Ills or eels?
Eels.
next day shipping on that present, that trophy.
Yeah.
This thing is perfect for shots. I'm going to tell you right now. Yeah.
Okay.
I will tell you, I have
So-
taken a shot out of a trophy I have won here in the Naughty Donkey Studios. So it's not a full ounce. It's about half an ounce, but just enough.
Well, look, guys, I want to thank you all for being on Hammered. I appreciate it. This has been a fun time, man. Tell us, where can we find out more about the band? Facebook's, web pages?
Facebook is the headquarters, pretty much. It's the easiest place where everything's pretty much updated, and just everything kind of just spans out from there. But the link tree is, where everything is listed. We're on all the main online retailers. That's pretty much it.
All right. Well, hey, Rick, thanks for being on the show. Jordan, thanks a lot, man.
Yes, sir.
Aaron, Godspeed, brother. We're here with you. Thanks for being on the show. Keep us updated. Let us know how everything's going. And Dan, appreciate you being on, man.
Thanks for having us.
Look, we'll see y'all September 4th, and hey, we look forward to it. And then Laura, thanks again for always being here and being a great co-host.
Wow.
Great job.
The sincerity.
That was
Congratulations on the mackerel.
Oh,
Thank you.
and let me tell you, we had some of that earlier today, and it was
Right.
delicious. Oh man,
It was
great.
big. It was really big. I was very, very impressed. It's awesome.
I also was very impressed with my work, to be honest. I look back at the picture and I'm like, I didn't do that. Like, I've got imposter syndrome.
Look, so the way it happened on the boat was we took turns every time there was a hit, right? We swapped.
That's what she
up.
said.
No, God, rim shot.
You
And it just happened to be her turn, man, for this one. So she got it.
And
was
but look, I brought it in. I made it happen.
yeah, you did.
And there,
Well-
according to Sweet Willie, there was a chance that it would not have made it on the boat. So
Yeah. All right, folks. Y'all check out Revelous, their YouTube page, Facebook, and come out to see them at Rock the Pig on September 4th in Youngsville, North Carolina, at Bud's Tavern. Great band. So, thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next time. This is Mike. We'll see you on the next episode of Hammered. Peace.
bye.
All right, thank you.